What is up, guys? Del Boy here. So, Golden Boy Promotions have confirmed that Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez will be fighting on September the 15th. There's been a lot of back and forth in regards to this fight. Is it going to happen? Isn't it going to happen? But finally, it's been confirmed, and I think we can all move on now. I've got to say, I'm not as excited for the second fight as I was the first. I think a lot of the politics have really put me off this. Firstly, I felt Golovkin clearly won the first fight. Then it came out that Canelo Alvarez was on... Well, he failed a drug test. He tested positive for clenbuterol, which is a banned substance. He explained it away as contaminated meat. Whether it was or not, we're never going to know. But it just seemed from day one that all the sanctioning bodies were on Canelo's side, and he just can't do no wrong. And I feel that Golovkin is up against it regardless when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. And yeah, it just kind of put me off. But Golovkin has a chance to put it right, and he needs to put it right. This is a legacy fight as far as I'm concerned. And I'm sure the closer it gets, the more I will look forward to it. It's going to be interesting because I felt in the first fight, Canelo started really well. In the first 3 rounds, I felt he was counter-punching effectively off the ropes. He was boxing well. But after the 3rd round, I really felt Golovkin started to apply pressure. He wasn't really doing anything special, but he was just outworking Canelo Alvarez. Alvarez was landing a good shot here and there on the counter, but to me, it just wasn't enough to offset the pressure and output of Gennady Golovkin. I think the vast majority of people had Golovkin winning that fight, including myself. I felt he just outworked Canelo Alvarez. And going into the second fight, I feel there are some interesting variables to take into account. Obviously, Golovkin is a year older. He's 36 years old. He's not going to be getting any better. And time really isn't on his side. But for Canelo Alvarez, he's been inactive. He last fought Golovkin back in September. Golovkin has fought since then. He fought Alvarez, who replaced Canelo Alvarez. This fight was supposed to go down in May. But obviously Canelo failed a drug test. Alvarez replaced him, gave Golovkin a couple of rounds but got knocked out. So Golovkin has been more active. And maybe the inactivity might phase Canelo Alvarez and it might actually be to his detriment. But at the same time, he hasn't been taking any punishment. He might have been working on a few things. He might be really, really fresh. So the inactivity can go either way. Some fighters don't even believe in inactivity. I forgot who it was who said that, but some fighters don't believe in it. We'll see if that plays a part. I think stylistically in the rematch, Alvarez, he needs to be doing what he was doing, but just more output, because he was countering well at times. He was countering well with the right uppercut, the straight right hand, the left hook. He was landing some really good shots. He basically needs to maintain what he was doing in the first 3 rounds. He was countering to a better volume. He was landing some really, really good shots. But after that, he just let Golovkin get on top of him and outwork him. So I think Canelo in the rematch, he needs to do more of the same with more output. And he needs to try and get Golovkin's respect. He needs to try and hurt Golovkin. To the head, that's going to be extremely hard. Golovkin has a really good chin. In the first fight, Alvarez caught Golovkin with some really, really big shots. I think in round 9, I believe, Canelo caught Golovkin with like an overhand right. I think it was round 9. And it was a massive, colossal shot. It was like the shot that knocked out Amir Khan. And Golovkin just took it and he wasn't phased. That shot would have knocked out so many fighters. But Golovkin took it like it was nothing. So I think Golovkin, his chin is granite, but maybe Alvarez needs to work on that body a little bit more. There have been a few rumours here and there that Golovkin was hurt to the body against Danny Jacobs. Maybe that's the way to go. Alvarez can throw shots to the body. He throws really good combos to the body. Maybe that's another improvement Canelo can make in the rematch. Concentrate on the body a little bit more. try and halt that pressure from Golovkin, try and lower his output by working the body. So I feel Alvarez can make adjustments. And also fight Golovkin when he need to fight him, because there was times in the first fight when Golovkin was coming onto him and he was kind of shelling up, and he was actually defending well at times, but he wasn't countering. He needs to fight with Golovkin in those scenarios. But the problem is, Alvarez he's been questioned about his stamina in the past. So can he do that over 12 rounds? I'm not so sure. In regards to Golovkin, what does he do better? I mean, he needs to do what he did in the first fight, apply pressure with quick feet and a high output. But the main thing he needs to do in this fight, in comparison to the first, is work the body. He needs to work the body because he wasn't doing that enough in the first fight. And I know Golovkin got warned early, I believe, in that fight, and he was worried he was going to get points deducted. And in hindsight, maybe that was a wise thing to do because the deck was stacked against him. But he really needs to do better work in the body. He really does. Golovkin can work the body. We've seen Golovkin get knockouts to the body. That left hook to the body against Macklin, for example. He can do it, but, he needs to do it consistently against Canelo Alvarez to try and stop him moving around, to try and slow his feet down. When a fighter's been hit to the body a lot, it slows him down, and maybe that will give Golovkin the opportunity to finish him against the ropes. It will make Canelo a lot more stationary. So I think Golovkin needs to work the body in this fight. And not only that, Alvarez has questionable stamina anyway, so working the body isn't going to be a bad thing for Golovkin. So yeah, I think going into the rematch is going to be very close. It's going to be very tight. I make Golovkin a slight favourite. I think he won the first fight, but I do feel that, he's a year older. Again, the deck is going to be stacked against him. So he's in for a hard night. But yeah, just a quick video to tell you guys the fight is on. I'm not going to make my prediction video till nearer the time. But I'm just glad it's on. What do you guys think? Peace.